Okay, good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to the STEM Digital School. This is Coding for Grade 4, and I'm your presenter, Mr. Paul de Klerk. There you can see my email address on the screen. So if you have any questions or you would like to share anything that you create with me, I would be so happy to see them. I love seeing the work that you guys do. So first up, before we even do anything, I want to apologize for yesterday. The school is growing really quickly because we are trying our best to reach as many students as we possibly can while things are going so crazy around the world. So then sometimes some technical problems happen, and we had one yesterday. But I immediately recorded the lesson for you, and then we uploaded it to YouTube. So if you would like to see that lesson, then you can go and have a look at that. You can find the YouTube video by navigating or asking your parents to navigate to the Africa Teen Geeks website. If they go onto the tab that says Lockdown eSchool, there is a small symbol there that shows YouTube. So you can go to that channel and then you can view all the videos that we've done in the past, as well as lessons like yesterday where we might have had some problems during the live class. Okay, another thing, I see everyone is reminding me or telling me that they can see 3 hosts. So how this works is we have a host and they come online and they make sure everything is up and running, and they send this through to YouTube and they do all those important things. And sometimes we have new people hosting us, like today, and I want to welcome, her name is Miss Ingrid, and she's here to help make these classes happen. Without the hosts, we will not have these classes. So a warm welcome to her, but she is still new. So I am assuming there is a second person that is logging on with her to just make sure that everything is running smoothly. And then I am also a co-host. I cannot stream to YouTube, but I can control what happens in the Zoom meeting. So if you guys are chatting about things that you shouldn't be chatting about, then I am the one who will be removing you from the lesson. If you switch on your video cameras, then we are both checking to see, and then we switch off the video cameras. Okay. So on that note, I think we might have many new students here. I see some names that I've seen before. I see some new names. So I just have to run through a couple of rules. Now, these rules aren't here because we like to be strict. These rules are here to make sure that everyone has an equal opportunity to learn and get what they need to get from these lessons. So the first rule, and this one is really important, and I have removed someone before for not following this. This chat box that you see is only there for you to ask questions about what we are doing at that moment, okay? And it is for me to share links with you, but I only share the link once we are on the coding screen. So if you just start asking me for the link now, then I'm going to have to remove you because I have told you now that I will share the link in time. Okay, Caleb, if you have to go, I'm sorry to see you go because I like having you in my class, but you can always go and catch the YouTube video to catch up what you've missed, okay? Right, so that's being said, I'm going to share some things to you in this chat, and if you guys chat about random stuff after I've shared the link, it makes it very difficult to find the link again, okay? And every time you chat, somebody's attention is drawn to that chat box and they're not focusing on what they are here. And remember, you guys are here because you want to learn coding, right? Coding is fun. So we want to know how to code. So let's not do that. Let's be respectful of our friends and of everyone who's giving up their time and their energy to be here. Right. The second thing I need to mention is your video feeds. If you accidentally click on the video camera icon, your video will switch on and I'm going to see you. Now, it is not that I do not want to see you. If you want to send me a photo of yourself to my email, I would be happy to meet all of you and to put faces to your names. But during the lesson, if you switch on that video, it covers up my screen and then I cannot help you to finish the puzzles that we need to do. So that's the reason why we ask the videos to stay off, because then I can see my entire screen and you guys can see your entire screens. So it just makes everything run a lot smoother and a lot easier. Okay, so there are some ground rules that we've set. I think that's enough. The new friends should understand and our old friends should know these by now. Okay, So let us get going straight into today's lesson. There you can see I have coding principles on here. Now I've developed these coding principles because there are many different coding languages. And if you know these principles and you make them a habit, meaning that you use them and you think in this way when you start coding, it will be easier for you to learn different coding languages. Okay. I use 3 at a time when I am creating websites. So you can just imagine it's a good thing if you are in a place where you can learn new and extra coding languages. So let's go through them. The first one, it says we want to make sure what the goal of the puzzle is. So very often we see a puzzle or a maze in front of us, especially on this platform that we are using now. And we immediately want to start moving our character around, and we want him to go this way and that way and to start here and finish there, and then he needs to turn and all that thing. But we sometimes miss that he has to do some things when he is at certain positions. So we need to make sure we know what the goal is. If the goal is to dig a hole, we must make sure that we know that. If the goal is to pick up a pile of sand, we need to know that. Okay, so we need to identify the goal. Now the problem is sometimes for us to get to our goal, to achieve or reach our goal, we need to write code that may be 15 or 20 blocks long. So that becomes very difficult. So my advice is to always take this goal and break it into smaller problems. And then we start following the problem solving steps. And these, I need to fix this slide. I keep forgetting to fix this one, but okay, this will still work. So what we want to do is we want to find the smaller problems. We want to identify them. Then we want to create a solution, okay, for that smaller problem. Then we want to test our solution that we have created. And then we want to make adjustments to the solution if we need to do that. Okay. So I will send the link once we are on that screen. So the last thing about this entire principles idea is that we want to arrange and organize the information. Okay, so we are going to use comments to make sure that we can easily see and understand the information that is on the coding screen. Okay, if there aren't comments available, then we don't have to use them. But if the program gives them to us, then we use them. Right, so I'm quickly going to show you. Today we were supposed to start with lesson 11, if else with B, puzzle 1 to 5. But we missed out yesterday, and I'm not sure if all of you caught the YouTube video. So what I want to do is I'm going to go to our coding screen. Let me just see where it is hiding for me or from me. Oh, this is very interesting. Oh, same thing happened yesterday. There we go. I have so many screens open. Okay. I want to do the last 3 puzzles for lesson 10 because we missed out this yesterday. Okay, so we're going to quickly do them. We'll do them very quickly because we want to start with the new lesson. Okay, so if you do not completely follow here, don't stress too much about that. Now I am going to share the link because we are on the screen where we will be coding, and now I want you to go there. Okay, you just check that the site is not going to make noises. Oh, come on. Right. Let me just fix this again. Okay. Seems to be muted, so we are ready to go. Okay, that's okay if you're late. I see so many new friends. Let's just share this link one more time. Okay, if you don't know why I'm silent, I'm waiting for you to tell me yes in the chat box if you can see this screen in front of you. That is what I want to see. Okay, Neo is there, great. Zivan is there, awesome. Jenna is there. Junior, I assume this is Junior's brother, using Junior's phone. Okay, Mornay is there. Okay, good. So I think most of us are there. So if you are new, I quickly want to run through everything here, but you will learn it as we go along. So here, the first thing you need to do, once you've opened that link, is you come to the top right-hand side of the Google Chrome browser. This is now if you're not using 2 devices, if you are on 1 device. Then you'll see there's a small minus sign that says minimize when you hover over it. And on the right-hand side, there's an X that says close when you hover over it, and the little block goes red. And in the center, there are these two little boxes and it says restore down. So you can click on the restore down, make your coding window, meaning your browser in Google if you're using PC, or Safari if you're using an Apple. You can make that smaller, and then you can make the Zoom screen smaller, and that way you can code on your own coding platform and you can watch me when I code, okay? If you are using two devices, that's better. You can watch on one and code on the other one. And then if you are using one mobile device only, then you can just watch us and save the link for later when you have access to a computer, okay? So first things first, this is the lesson that we're on. And if you stay on this link after we've finished our lesson, then you can come and click here. If you are new, especially you want to do this, you click here. I'm going to do that now so that you can see. And then you will have access to the entire section that I have created for you guys. So this is the grade 4 section. And you can see all the lessons are here from dance party, the first lesson, up to the last lesson, 28. Okay, so we are obviously here, but if you are new, you can click on that, come here, and then you can come and do this. So when we are in class, you do the puzzles that we're doing and you try and keep up. If you can't keep up, just copy the code so that you can progress with us. But you can come here on your own time and play with these puzzles. Now, if you are new and you are busy on these puzzles and you are unsure of what to do, you send me an email so that I can help you, okay? I will gladly help you to catch up to us because I want you all to know how to code, right? So the next thing is, here are our instructions. So I said we need to identify the goal. This is where we get the goal, okay? Oh, sorry, Zoe Rose. Okay. So this is where we get the goal that we need. They will tell us what the goal is. This is our play area where we can see what happens, and you can see you can make that bigger or smaller, right? I might make it a bit bigger so that you can see it, but I want to leave enough space for us to see this as well. Next to that, we have the toolbox. Now, there are many different blocks in here that we can use. Now, these blocks, I will explain as we use them, okay? I'm not going to explain each one now. Here we have our workspace, and we're limited to 14 blocks. One block is already used by the when run block here. And this when run block, you can see it's the same color as the run button down here. So what this says is when we click on this button, any code attached to this block will start running. Good. So I think that's enough explanation. I'm going to do this puzzle, 12, 13, and 14. And then we're going to carry on, and then you guys will help me with the next lesson, okay? So I want to sort of try and run through this to make up for what we lost yesterday. And if you want to have the entire thing, then you can just go to the YouTube channel and watch yesterday's lesson where I speak about these puzzles in detail. So for those of you that are new joining us now, welcome. And there is the link for you in the chat box. Okay, so that was enough chatting. Let's get to this. Okay, so what we have here is we have Alex, and we can see that they say now things are getting tricky. Mine 3 redstone, but don't fall into the lava. Use an if command to place cobblestone over any lava you uncover. Okay, so we have 14 blocks to get 3 of these redstone. So the goal is we need to get 3 redstone. The redstone, for those of you that do not know Minecraft, it's these ones that have the red dots on them. Okay, so what we want to do is we want to break this into smaller problems, right? Because you can see to get 3 is going to be difficult. So the first thing I see is there is a pattern here. Here we have move forward twice and then a redstone block, and then move forward twice and a redstone, and then again move forward twice and a redstone. So I want to use this path up here. You can use a different one if you would like to, but I'm going to show you this one, okay? So the first problem is we need to move Alex from there to be in front of the redstone because Alex needs to chop or break this block, destroy that block. So we're going to say move forward. Now, there are 2 ways we can do this. We can either say move forward twice, or we can put move forward inside a repeat block. But what I want to show you is if you are doing one action, the same action 2 times, whether you put 2 blocks, okay, check the block count here, it's 3. And whether you put a repeat twice and that, then it is also going to do 3. Okay. So we only really need to start using a repeat block when we are going to do more than one action 2 times, or if we are going to do one action 3 times or more, right? So for those of you that don't know yet, if I have a block on my workspace I don't want to use, then I just move it off into my toolbox, okay? So now we have moved forward twice and we want to test this. Okay, good. So our first problem is solved. The second problem is we want to destroy that block. So in Minecraft, this is how you mine these blocks. And then we test it. So we put the destroy block onto the workspace. Now I see a problem there. There is lava there. So we cannot walk there. We cannot walk on lava. We will catch fire. We will be set alight. So what we need to do is we need to place a block of cobblestone, right? So we want to place the block of cobblestone and then you'll see that it works. Now that's very good. Okay. Now we can move there. So what we can do is we can say, move forward again so that we are there. And then we can say, turn left because we want to go up. Right, so now let's run this and then we'll see. Okay, we've placed the cobblestone, we're moving forward and we're going up. Now what we want to do is this entire thing, we want to do 3 times. So we take this entire sequence of code, we put it inside a repeat block and we set it to 3. Why 3 times? Because we can see there are 3 pathways here. But this code isn't right, there's something missing. But I want to show you this because we're solving the easiest problems first before we go to the next ones, okay? So now we are breaking that. We're placing the cobblestone because there's lava. Now we're breaking it. But now we have this problem. Oh, look at that, into the fire. Okay, did you see what happened here? Over here, we placed the cobblestone in the lava. So we were covering the lava and we could walk there, okay? But our code says place cobblestone. It is always going to place cobblestone when it looks like this. So after it's moved forward twice, it's destroyed a block, it will place cobblestone, right? So when we get to this part here, I'm going to go there again. We break the redstone. There's no lava, but we're still placing a cobblestone. So now that cobblestone is in our way. And then we try to turn and move, and then we fall into the lava. So what we need to do is we need to use this little block here. Now this block is known as an if conditional. And what this block is saying is if there is lava ahead, then you place cobblestone. Okay, so we're going to put the cobblestone block in there, right? We're going to attach this there because that's where we want it to happen, and there. So now if we read the code, it reads like this. It's saying move forward 1 time, move forward again. Destroy the block. Check if there is lava ahead. If this is true, then you do this. You place cobblestone. But if this is false, there is no lava, you skip this, you do not do this, and then you go on to the next line of block of code that is there. Okay, so that is what an if statement does. It tells us to check for a condition to be true or false. Okay, so this, in this case, this if conditional is checking whether this is true, then it will do something. If it is false, it's going to not do this and it's going to go on to here. So now we're only going to be placing cobblestone if there is lava. If there is no lava, then we will be carrying on with our sequence. Okay. Now look at that. So now we can see our problem has been solved. There is no lava there, so we're not placing that block of cobblestone. Okay. So I know this was fast, but don't worry, we're going to do ifs in the next lesson as well. I just want to show you this quickly, and then we're going to move on to our next lesson. Let me just start this one over. Okay, great job. You've gathered lots of resources to build a modest home. Now lay rail from the edge of the map to the door of your house. So we are identifying the goal. Great job. That doesn't tell us our goal. That just praises us for doing a good job. This one, you've gathered lots of resources and built a modest home. Again, that isn't a goal. That just tells us what we've done and that we've done a good job, right? Just dropping the link if somebody needs it. The last one says, now lay rail from the edge of the map to the door of your house. So this is the goal that we want to achieve in this puzzle. Okay, these other 2 things, it's just language being used to make us feel good. And it's great. We like to read that, but that doesn't tell us what our goal is. This is what we want to do. We want to lay rail. Okay, so that is what we need. So what we're going to do is we're first going to look at this and decide how are we going to approach this. So we have restrictions The restrictions are that we have 9 blocks that we can use. The other restriction is we need to stay on this dirt pathway, because if we start placing rail on the grass, then we're going to end up in the water. The dirt pathway is the only one that crosses the water. So now those are our two goals, our two problems. But even they can be divided into smaller problems, like this one. Alex is facing down, but she needs to move this way. So we need to turn Alex. Because she's facing down and we need her to go to this way, for us it looks like left in the way that we are looking at the map, but for her that is the right, okay? So what we are going to do is we're going to say turn right, and then we want to place a rail, because she needs to place a rail where she's standing, and we want to move forward. So when we test this, we can see we now have the solution for one dirt block to place rail on it. But we need to do that 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 times. The problem is, okay, so for that we put this into a repeat. So this is the solution for one block of placing a rail. This is the solution for 6 blocks of placing a rail. Now we can see here we counted 7, but the one problem we have here is if we do it this way, we're going to place a rail on number 7, but we're still moving forward. So we're going to end up there. Let's see what happens. No problem if you guys are late. There is a link for you. Okay, so we see what happened here. We did place rails everywhere, but now we are off of the track where we want to be. So my advice is we change this to 6, so we stop just before that, okay? Placing rails, but we will still move to there. So the rail placing will stop here, but we will still move to there. Okay, let's see. And now I see something here. This is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 spaces that we need to place rails on. Over here, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 spaces that we need to place rails on. So if this is the solution for one spot to put one rail, and this is the solution for 6 spots to put 6 rails, one on each spot, then it stands to reason that if we repeat this, we do this twice, we will solve that problem there. So there are 2 ways we can do this. We can either create this again, okay, and we can say place rail and move forward, but we also know we are here and we need to go up. So we need to use a turn right, okay? But now we're using 9 blocks of code. We're still achieving our goal, so this is not wrong. But when we're coding, we always want to try and use as few blocks as possible, okay? So what we can do, and we've learned this before, is use what we now know to be a nested loop. And that is where we take this entire sequence, put it inside another loop, and set this to do it twice. Now we're only using 6 blocks instead of 9. So we're saving 4 blocks. Okay. And then we can see we've done this, right? I know I am running really quickly through this. Don't worry. We are almost at the next lesson. So this last puzzle we're not going to do in this class. This is a challenge puzzle, okay? And this challenge puzzle means, excuse me, this challenge puzzle means that there is no goal. Congratulations, you've completed all our puzzles. Now mine, build, and create something unique by using everything you've learned so far. So they're giving us all these blocks, they're giving us unlimited workspace, they're giving us this play area, and they're saying do whatever you want to do. So what I did yesterday is I just created this to make you see something here. But what I want you guys to do is, when we finish here, before I log off, I'm going to share the link to this puzzle, okay? Look at that map. There's a lot that you can do here. You can shear sheep, you can chop down trees, you can get gold, you can build something. Okay. So I'm going to share this link to you right before we log off this lesson. And then when you've done something awesome there, you click on finish and you ask your mommy and daddy to copy this link and to send that to me on an email. So both my email and this link that leads to this puzzle, I will share again before we log off. Then I can see the awesome creations that you guys have made. Okay. Okay, we're not here to watch videos. We are here to do coding. So excuse me while I quickly take a sip of water. While I do that, you can read so long. Okay, now we have new blocks, if-else blocks. They're not on here yet, so we will look at them a bit later. For now, let's just work through this. This cloud is blocking the view. Okay, I'll send the link again. There we go. Thank you for reminding me. Okay. This cloud is blocking the view. There could be a flower under this cloud. If there is a flower, look at that. It says if there is a flower, the bee will need to collect nectar once. Okay, that's also important. How many times? If there is not a flower, the bee should do nothing. Take a good look at the code below. What do you think will happen after you click run? Okay. So what we need to do is we first need to read this and then check the code. So the bee will move to the cloud and try to get nectar no matter what. Okay. The bee will move to the cloud and only try to get nectar if there is a sunflower underneath. The bee will move to the cloud and then do nothing no matter what. I don't know. So D is never an option in our classes. We need to figure it out. This, I don't know, is never an option for us. We need to figure it out. So what we need to do is we need to look at this and we will see there are 1, 2 spaces to move. Then there is a cloud and that cloud is maybe blocking a flower, maybe not. If it is blocking a flower, there's only one. So now we look at the code and we see this is repeat 3 times, move forward. So we're going to move 1, 2, 3. If you are at a flower, then get nectar. So if there isn't flower, get nectar. If there is no flower, so this statement is false, nothing's going to happen. So the bee will move to the cloud and only try to get nectar if there is a sunflower beneath. So I've got Neo, Ibrahim, Zinzi, Katia, Rarak, all of you saying it's B. So I'm going for B because that's what you chose. And you were all right. Good job. Hadia. Okay, sorry. Thank you, Hadia. You guys need to remember we see so many different names. And not all of your names are the same way displayed as what your name really is. Sometimes it displays your parents' names or something like that. So I am sorry if I get your name wrong, but thank you for reminding me. Okay. Lesson 11, puzzle number 3. More clouds. Sorry, I was just quickly checking something here. Check underneath every cloud to see if it is hiding a flower before you get nectar. If there is a flower underneath the cloud, the bee will need to get nectar once. Remember, not all clouds are hiding the same thing. So we need to identify the goal. The first goal is to check underneath every cloud. The second goal is, if it is hiding a flower, we want to get nectar. So there are 2 goals for this. We want to check first, and then we want to do something according to that result. Okay. And this is puzzle number 3. For those of you that didn't know, I'll share the link to you. Okay. Right. So before we can check clouds, we need to get there. So now we're going to dissolve this into smaller problems, okay? So the first problem is we want to move from here to there. Now for that, we're going to move twice. So we put a move forward block there 2 times, and we can run it so we can see we are there. Okay, Now we're going to have to do something to face this way, and that is we're going to have to turn right. Now this is where I want to ask you, do I put a get nectar block here, or do I put an if at flower block here? Which one? Get nectar or if at flower? Okay, Hadia is saying if, Cindy is saying get nectar, Tabella is saying both. Okay. So let's test this. Get nectar, we run. Okay, that doesn't work yet. Not yet. I made a mistake. We need to move on to them first. So let's just do this. Okay, so we're going to move forward so that we're there, and then we'll put the get nectar there, and let's see. Okay, now the puzzle has changed. So now we have a get nectar there, but there is no nectar to get. Right? So that's not going to do anything for us. So that one doesn't work. Now someone said put this one in here. So we're putting that in there. And we can see it's saying there is a problem here because we didn't tell this to do something. So for the person, if I can remember who that was, Tabello said both. And Tabello was right. So let's run this. Okay, now we've solved a few problems. We've moved from here to there. We've turned, we've moved there. We've checked for a flower. If there was flower, we got the nectar. But we need to do that twice. So we can take this single sequence and we can quickly just set this in here. Okay, thank you, Dante. And then we're going to repeat that twice, okay? Okay. Sorry, I'm still trying to see what's being said here. Chat is blowing up. Okay, Zoe Rose, this is code.org. That is where we learn. So if you want to advance in this coding and you want to end up in a place where you can, write apps and games and things and create apps and games, you need to ask your parents to sign up for this. Okay, it's free for now, but there are many more advanced lessons than this one. There's a lot that you need to work through and then you can get there. Okay, so I see someone has shared the code with us here. This is line and text-based coding. Even in the new curriculum that's going to come out for coding, there is a new curriculum. It's at the ministers now. There won't be line and text-based coding for this age, so you don't need to worry about this yet. That's why I haven't shown it to you. Okay. For those of you that know about it, because maybe your parents or an older brother or somebody showed you about it, that's good. But this is not necessarily necessary for your age. Okay. Right, so let's just talk through this one more time. So here we have the B. We're solving the first problem, which is moving the B from there to there. So we're moving forward 2 times. Okay. Then once we are there, we need to turn so that we are facing this flower here. Okay, or these clouds. So we're turning right. Then we want to move forward once and check if there is a flower. If there is a flower, we want to get nectar. If there's not a flower, we want to just move on so that the code can do what it's supposed to do. So here we have move forward. If at flower, get nectar. If this is false, then it will just go into our repeat block. Now this is the solution for this first block, and it's the same solution needed for this block. So instead of writing it twice, 2 times, we just put it into a repeat and we tell it to repeat twice. Okay, so are you guys ready? Can I move on to the next puzzle? Just say yes. This is if else with B. Zoe Rose, if that answers your question, if else with B. And the game that I'm playing with my son is Minecraft, if that's what you're asking. Okay. Right. Okay, let's carry on. Here it says you can only collect nectar from flowers, but you can check any space to see if there is a flower. If there is a flower under any of these clouds, the bee will need to collect nectar once. So now this is where we really see how important these if blocks become. So there are 2 times that these blocks are important. The first time is like this example here. We do not know what is under those. We do not know whether it's a flower under this or nothing, or maybe something else. The other time that it becomes really powerful is when there is no set pattern, but you see that in a later puzzle. Okay. So what we need to do is we need to identify the goal. Check the space to see if there is a flower. If there is a flower, then you need to collect the nectar once. Okay, so they're telling us that there will only be one nectar if there's a flower. The restrictions, we have these 5 blocks that we can use, which is actually only 4 because 1 is already used by this block. And then over here we have the other restriction of we are only capable of moving in this line. We cannot move up and down and all of that stuff. So what we want to do is we want to move forward first because we are solving the easiest problem first, which is to move the bee from there to there. The bee doesn't have to do anything where it's standing because there is no question mark there. The next thing we need to do is we need to check if there is a flower under this cloud. And if there is a flower, we need to get nectar. If there is no flower, it's going to carry on to the next segment or sequence of code that is on the screen. We don't have one now, so it will just terminate. So now we can step this, or we can run it, and that is going to show us whether our code was correct or not. Just need to allow this to quickly load. Okay, so we see that worked for the first block. But we can now also see that there are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 blocks. Count that again, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So if this is the solution for one block, then we can either write this code 7 times, or we can just repeat this code like this. And we can tell it to do this 7 times. Okay, for those of you that want to try and save the link, to send it into the chat box is not helping. You need to copy it and you need to paste it on a text document on your computer, not in Zoom. The chat box is linked to Zoom. The moment we close this, it's going to be gone. And for Hadia, who keeps sharing the line and text-based coding, that's not needed for this grade, so you can stop doing that. If it was needed, I would have shown it to you. The new curriculum will not contain this for your age. It's awesome that you know it, and I'm very grateful that you are trying to help, but we do not need it, and I don't want to confuse new students who's doing this for the first time. Thank you for understanding. Right. So I just want to talk through this one more time. The first thing we need to do is we need to move forward in order to do something on that block. When we get on that block, we want to check if there is a flower. So if there is a flower, we want to get nectar, meaning this statement is true. If this statement is not true, it is false, we want to skip the get nectar block and just go back. Give me a second here. Right. So what we have here is a move forward, and we're checking if we don't have a flower, we're going to move on. If we do have a flower, we're going to get nectar. So this is the solution for one block. We can see there are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 blocks. So we can go up there, put this in a repeat. Oops, that one there, and tell it to do this 7 times. So now we can run the code. And I hope by this time, we've spent a lot of time here, that you have copied this code onto your computer. Okay, do you all understand that one? Okay, so what I am going to do is I'm going to share that last Minecraft one with you, because I want you all to go and play with that. Just find it here. So you want to open this in your browser. You want to copy the link, and then you want to go and paste it somewhere else, not back into the chat. Because once we close the meeting, you won't have access to the chat. You need to go and save it somewhere where you can find it again once we're done here. Right, so you can go here, play on this, and please, for those of you that want to, I would love to see what you create here. This is a big map. We just make it run through so that you can see how large this map is. There's a lot that you can do here. So go and spend some time on this, and please share the results to me. Okay, so once it's done, then we can say finish. You can ask your mom and dad to copy this link and send it to me on an email. Okay. So I just want to share the correct link. You can ignore the link that came from Hadia, because that's not the one that I want you to go and do. I want you to go and do this one. The puzzle 14. Oh, I see, that is the right one. Sorry, Hadia. I just saw number 4. I thought it's the wrong one. Okay, so that's the link that you guys can use. Yes, you can do it in Google. That's where you have to do it. Jenna, you click on this, open it in Google, and then you can copy and paste the link and keep it somewhere. Okay, for those of you that want to join us or want to share some things to me, you can do it in this email address. Okay, I'm going to stay here for a minute or two so that you can just see that. Write it down if you have a notepad. If you do not have a notepad, then you can just take a screenshot. Okay, tomorrow we will continue with if else with B, and we're going to do puzzle 5 to 10 because we reviewed the last puzzle anyway. So even though we didn't finish this today, we're going to do it again. Okay. Thank you for being here. Invite your friends to come and join us tomorrow. Follow us on these social media handles and have a good day. Bye-bye.
Congratulations! You just learned the basic building blocks of computer science. Now